Good morning, Beef and Barnzy fans, and welcome to the Beef and Barnzy Show. On this Tuesday, as usual, I am Barnzy, joined by my co-host and the brains of the operation, Beef Stew. How are you today?
Good, Barnzy. Good. I got to cheer you on over the weekend. Me and Linda were texting back and forth over. Wow, is he ever going to make a spare? Wow, it's a good job he's bowling EJ. AJ, even. Sorry, EJ. Didn't mean to besmirch you there. Yeah, it was good to see bowling on. I mean, how long was it on? I mean, we had 5 hours with the ladies on Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, Wednesday, women had 5 hours. You had another future show that was taped on Friday. The Strike Derby will come out. Actually, I don't know the dates. And then
I believe the Strike Derby is somewhere around the 4th or 5th of July because it's the same time as the Home Run Derby.
Kevin, it's not a bad call. It's not completely unfair to either one of us, unfortunately. So.
William coming back in. Long time no see, boss.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that there's only one place to start, and that is with the board. Queen Elizabeth in England's reign is 69 years. King Barnes' reign was about 55 minutes.
It's tough to say who got more done.
So, overall, what was it like to be back with the fans? How cool was that?
I'm telling you, on that first show, excuse me, I felt like I hadn't been on a show, and that might have been my first one ever. My heart rate was it felt like I was about 145. I mean, it was pounding out of my chest, and I couldn't settle down. I wanted to throw it hard anyway, so I didn't try real hard to move it down, but it turned out it needed to be down a little bit. Because until I saw the show later, I didn't realize I could even throw it 22 miles an hour. That wasn't a spare ball. So, and it turns out when I throw it 22 miles an hour, all I do is leave spares anyway. So, note to self.
Or leave open.
Yeah, the spare ball was going slower, and it wasn't hitting anything either.
Oh, shit. I mean, you missed the first one. I'm like, well, that was kind of annoying, but that happens. And then AJ had the two opens. I'm like, all right, Bud, step on him. Yeah. And then you left the next one, and I'm like, oh, my God, you almost sped the 10-pin on the next lane. I guess you stuck on the second one. You didn't look like you stuck on the first one. But.
No, the first one was all me. The second one, I stuck. But to be fair, I missed it so far left. Well, my swing is, when you're in time, I stick, and it goes a little left. But I probably still would have made it. So by the fact that it hit the gutter of the scanner, I'm guessing I didn't even watch it get to the arrows. It was so far left that I probably wasn't making it anyway. But I did. AJ was wearing an orange heel and somehow thought that the rule that's been in place for 2 years wasn't in place. And Josh, has been there for 5 minutes. And so there was some selective memory that John Weber had about the rules that were in place, and he did not pass it along. So it's now confirmed that, yes, indeed, the orange heel is still not allowed on the PBA tour, and no matter how much AJ wants to use it. So
good deal. I mean, what made me laugh about it being the 4-pin is the fact that me and you joke all the time about the guys who hook at the 4-pin. And then I'm thinking to myself, if Barnes leaves another one, he might fucking wheel the whole lane at it.
I would 100% not throwing another one straight at a 4-pin. I left that bucket in the next match, and there was never even a millisecond of thought about which ball was going down the lane.
And you absolutely nutted the bucket. When you left the bucket and you hooked at it, I'm like, I'm not even sure I 100% know where I would stand to hook at the bucket.
Oh, I do. I actually went to hooking it at that anyway for the most part, unless they're really hard, or really wet dry, as it turns out they kind of were. But yeah, it's the same as a 2/8. So I just
feel like I always end up with the 5-pin.
Yeah, I just make it roll out a little bit more, so I try not to chop it.
Yeah. But the other part of your adventure on Saturday was your match against Prather. You were all over the place, weren't you? I mean, 5-1. I saw you try and put the little touch on it for the spare.
It's your fault. It's your fault. I had several conversations in there, but I'm like, I kind of actually started doing it. Stu, by the way, makes the Greek church all the time, throwing it firm but kind of catching it.
Yeah.
At the 3, and it makes a lot of sense when I thought about it. I went, huh. Well, I mean, normally I'm never wrong, but in this case, he's not wrong either. So. And I went, well, I could, so I started doing it. I said, there's plenty of hook. It eliminates, in my head, it eliminates 0, it eliminates 1, and I get a chance. And I threw it on, ooh, that's got a chance. But that lane is always tight down lane. And it hit that spot and I got 1. And every conversation I've had with my son about not getting count on strikes at low count splits all ran through my head. And I look up the board and I go, do you know how stupid you have to be to have a fruit bagger and not still have 80 in the 4th?
Well, the other part of it was there almost wasn't that much value in making the spare with the way the score was, because Prather had like double spare. So it was kind of like one of those deals where it was like, you're all so far behind. I'm not saying that there's never value in making it. I'm just saying in that particular scenario. And then I'm like texting with Linda. I'm like, oh God, I hope that doesn't end up being a pain in the ass. Like if Prather shoots 259 and he shoots 257 with 11 strikes, he's gonna want it.
Right. No, it was kind of a fail safe because as bad as I shot spares already, that was the other thing. I'm like, well, hey, if I hook at it a little bit, I'll probably at least get it close to what I'm looking at. And so
you did. You just overestimated the mix. We'll go with that.
Yeah. It just, what a mess. So many mistakes.
So let's have we'll have a brief commercial. So Coolwick have ready to ship jerseys. This is one that I think is kind of a bit of fun. It is the cartoon comic strip one. You can get it with this is a Rotogrip one because obviously they sent it to me. But the quick ship jerseys are available. You can use Beef Stew 10 for 10% off. They're ideal if you want to go to nationals. So head over to coolwick.com. Have a look. It's under the section quick ship jerseys. And they have a bunch of different ones that they have in stock that they can get out to you in a few days. If you're a person like myself who is not very organized and is a bit of a ditherer, it's the perfect scenario because you can get it. You can get all different brands. So yeah, that's an option. I would love to tell you exactly how much they are, but I've forgotten because I didn't write it down, and Cliff's going to be real thankful to me. So we will no doubt get onto that next week. I will give you a number. Other things in the bowling industry today, Bowl Expo started. So if you look on the Storm Global Rotogrip Facebook pages and other brands, you will no doubt see a bunch of live streams from Bowl Expo. I believe today is usually the product demo day.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that we will see a bunch of stuff about new balls. So if that's your dig and you're kind of into it, keep an eye out for Storm Rotogrip Global. They will no doubt go live. If you click on, if you click like and click let you know the notifications, you'll get a notification when they go live. And I would think over the next few days, there'll be plenty of opportunities to get your nerd on.
Yeah, if you're a true bowling geek like most of us are, that demo day is probably about as good as it gets for getting to throw every ball up against each other in as close an environment as you possibly can. It's a pretty cool day there if that's your thing. Just warm up and be ready to throw a lot of shots. But yeah, I think that's one of the most fun things for the guys that really love bowling, watching them go around and throw all the balls against each other. So.
Yeah, but was that from Bowl Expo, Andy? I don't know. I'm just asking. Because she did the bowl video for that months ago. So I'm just wondering whether that's from Bowl Expo or not. Casey, yeah, we're back. We're back. I'm back where I belong. I don't know what happened to Barnes, but you know.
Yeah, you know, when you're a stepchild, that's what happens, I think.
So yeah. But there's a bunch of new balls. We have no idea what they are. Well, Kris probably knows what his are, but I don't really have any idea. But I'm sure it'll be exciting when they tell you. And I'm sure they'll be better than the ones before them.
On the short leash, the burners are going to be the ones that are new and out in the market relatively quickly.
Yeah, July, I believe they're July 2nd, along with the UFO alert and the dark code. I find it hard with that ball being black and there already being a code black to not say code black.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you were up there,
yes.
what did you use in Maine? What did you think about drilling? What did you take? Give us a little bit of a rundown on that.
Yeah. So back to the same kind of ideas as before. I did take kind of the 6 balls through. I made a few adjustments from nationals because we had a very good idea of what we were going to bowl on. But I took the same reality, pin up with 1,000 on it. I did put in a shiny reality that I've been using on easier patterns and on different things when there's a little more friction to the right. And it came in handy as well because I had a feeling after watching the women's shows that I wanted to play a little further right. Anybody that watched those shows saw how different the 2 lanes could get as the shows went on. And some guys really got caught by that. I'd had success to the right. So I tried to play very far right, obviously, and that didn't work out so well. I drilled an aspect as my kind of heavy control ball to try and get closer to it, a little more like what that DCT used to do. But the aspect's a much better ball than DCT, so it doesn't go as straight off the friction as that. And then I had a Synergy, I had a Zen. Those didn't go down the lane because they would have had I moved left, but they did not from out there to the right. And I had a PBR, a Hustle PBR it could have been an option from the right, but the realities are those balls are pretty good. So there wasn't much reason to get out of those.
There you go, Kyle. Kyle says, the fact we got to watch Kris versus Parker in 2021 was a notable memory in and of itself.
It almost seemed like 1999 there for a minute. It was an interesting fact they brought up. They said we'd only bowled each other like 4 times in all the times, and I think twice in title matches. I think it was 1-on-1, which was a little surprising.
Well, I mean, it's probably because you were up in your feelings that they were easy on the left those weeks.
Well, one of them was at the Empire Open at the Parker Bone Invitational. Where I qualified at the bottom. I beat one right-hander and then bowled Ricky Ward and Jason Couch and Parker. And I ran out of steam at the end. And the other one was at Don Carter West right here in Dallas. And Rick Benoit won me a title that day. So
goody. Good memories. Does anybody know how these bowlers were chosen? We've kind of been back and forth over this. No, not really. The only prerogative was they didn't pick anybody who was previously on the King of the Lanes.
Yeah, there were some things in interesting matches like Nair had the huge 7-10 thing that went viral. there was some sponsorship commercial things tied to it. So obviously he had made a big presence. Tim Mack is the captain of the Lumberjacks, which is there in Portland. And so he was kind of a sponsor's exemption. And I'm actually really happy for Timmy. Timmy bowled really good. His score didn't actually show how good he really bowled because of the 4-9 at the end. But he got to beat Timmy. You know, he had a bird dog. He got to get juiced with the crowd. I mean, the first half of the game, that's been 25 years. He's been waiting for his opportunity, and it was cool to get to see him bowl good and get to be, the guy he could have been had injuries not taken over.
So a few people are asking about prize funds. Did they kind of publish that, or was that?
I don't know if they did or not, but ultimately it was $3,000 to lose a contenders match. It was $5,000 to lose the King match and 10 to win.
So Sterner ended up making 20,000 for those who wanted to know.
Yeah, Parker had a pretty good run. I made a little bit. Parker made quite a bit, and then Sterner.
Yeah, because Parker beat you and Andy Nair. So Parker would have made 25,000.
Same as Dari. So
yeah. So Craig says he was happy to see Tim there, not on crutches.
Did he eat lobster? Of course we did. When in Rome. I mean, Portland is literally on the wharf, like half a mile up from where the boats come in. So lobster rolls are everywhere. They are plentiful in both amount of dollars you have to spend to eat them and how many there are. They are excellent. I can tell you the economy in Portland, it's been open for about 2 weeks and it is flourishing quite nicely. That place was packed. The hotels were absurdly expensive. But it is beautiful there, and the weather's 80. It was hot for there. It was in the mid-80s, but still beautiful on the sea. So,
yeah. Kyle. Yeah, Kyle had an interesting question.
Yeah, I had 2 of them. So I had a pin up that was surface. It's been in my regular rotation as like a heavy angular ball. And then I had another one that I've done recently from some of the comments and suggestions on our ball shows here that people are really liking them shine in the league stuff. And so I did that, and actually I agree. So I have a lower pin one that gets through the front, but it blends out the wet dry down lane a little bit. And so I used that on the left lane the first game, and that's the lane that's a little more down lane wet dry. And then actually I ended up changing balls on both lanes after they ran them, because they got significantly tighter.
Yeah, the JT asks an interesting question. It says, thoughts on other venue cities being louder and matches on tour? See, I feel like it's a little overblown, a little bit, with the thing in Maine. I think that the thing that's unique about it is how long that they are able to keep that for. It's not that it's that much louder than anywhere else that we've been. It's just that they can keep that going for a couple of hours for a show. Whereas when Walter Ray and Norm are putting it on them in like Columbus or in Detroit, or I mean, plenty of the places that you guys used to go, smaller cities like Columbus has had a couple of different places where we've been where Columbus is such a bowling city. It's incredible. Like it's for a town that's not that big. It has an absolute shitload of bowling lanes. And I love Columbus. I think it's awesome. Like,
it's a bowling town.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And the thing that's really funny for me is one of the first times I went to Wayne Webb's, I was staying over by Jimmy Johnson's place. What I forget the name of that bowling center. But anyway, we're staying over by that one. And I'm like, I've been here before. Why have I been here before? And I'm like, oh, that's where the other bowling center is. And then you just don't realize. And then you go down the road and there's another one that's got like 50 lanes. Yeah. So I think there are plenty of places around the country that can get loud. I just think that what's unique about Maine is that they're not from the bowling etiquette, so to speak, of the guys on the approach are going to be quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. My take on this is a little bit, it's a little bit in line, but everybody in their league has a nickname. Nobody bowls in their league with their own name. And whatever nicknames we came in there with, they weren't bowling geeks or huge PBA fans. They're fans of sports. And so they've had the Patriots and they've had the Red Sox and they've had the Bruins and, they've had sports teams. And so they just cheered like you would for sports teams. I think the thing that set them apart is how creative they are. So not only making noise, but they have creative chants that change pretty constantly. Mm-hmm. And I said this on Twitter actually yesterday that I don't think every place has to be Bayside, but I think they can be the example, and then every place can create their own personality and creativity. And so some places will be, really loud. It's just got to be organic. When we tried to do it in the early 2000s, and it's kind of canned noise, or late 90s, I guess it was, and make everybody cheer loud, it comes off as fake. And there it comes off very real because there's chants and they have things for everybody and they spend some time getting ready for it. They don't just show up and go, hey, and make noise.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So authenticism is the key to do it. But I think there are places that would be great. Erie would be great. Medford would be great. Wichita probably would be really good. And each place could have their own thing that would make it what they do. And maybe some of those traditional places like, Akron for the Firestone, maybe that's a traditional silence and back preserving history, for lack of a better.
Yeah, I also think that the main thing for me anyway with bowling going forward is I really think we have to find a way that the fans, the people don't have to cheer for everybody. Like they do in Maine, but they don't have to. Yeah. The thing that makes sport cool is when the people are watching, they have a root and interest in who wins. Like, I really don't care that much about whether the Nets or the Bucks win, but I kind of like Kevin Durant, so I wanted the Nets to win. But as soon as it was done, it wasn't like changing my life. And that's the thing with sports. 99% of the time when you tune in, you have I definitely want that guy to win. And I think if we can do a better job of getting the fans to be invested in a certain player, I think that would go a long way.
Yeah, I could see where they're heading with the league venues and those kind of things, and the teams, and making a bigger deal. But you'd have Portland as a team, you'd have Medford as a team, you'd go back to Erie and have a team. Places where we really have strong fan bases, and then they do have their own team. When you're bowling Portland in Portland, well, guess what?
Yeah,
you get heckled, not cheered for. And I actually thought the Weber Cup should be way more like that all the time. I think it would. It's nice to be polite. I have no problem with it, but I don't have any problem with the fact that you went the couple of those years when like Couch and Tomas were kind of getting into it, and the crowd went nuts when Mika beat Couch. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like being the side we were on, but it was awesome how into it they were. So,
yeah. Is it too early to start talking Weber Cup? That's a question for Emily Fraser, not for us.
No, it's not. It actually is right about the right time to talk about it, but we don't have any information yet. So now that these shows and Bowl Expo and those things are over, I would imagine there will be some things coming soon.
Yeah, we hope so. Let's see how it goes going forward. Somebody asked, Linda had this made me smirk earlier.
Yeah, once upon a time I had back surgery. I got a bell, like a little cowbell and that one disappeared. Yeah, it didn't. But I don't know. I kind of like this. It's good to be the king.
I mean, the crown just looks like $1 million.
It is.
Kyle says, it might be a stretch coincidence, but it seemed like Brunswick balls really dominated this event. In your experience, are there certain brands that do well on certain patterns? I think it's a stretch to say that they dominated, being as the women's matches were basically all won by Storm balls, Storm Rotogrip Global balls, by saying Storm balls. And yeah, so, you know, Barnes won the first one. Parker did good, you know. After that, there wasn't really anybody playing Parker with a Storm ball, so I don't know. Yes, I feel like certain brands do well in certain centers more than certain patterns. If you look at the results in Columbus, you better be pretty fucking good if you're not going to use a Storm ball.
Yeah.
Zach Wilkins is the one man I would give who people don't necessarily give credit to being like a superstar, but he strikes in Columbus with non-Storm balls. Like, but generally the top 24 is made up of about the same 12 people almost every time, and then 12 extras. And the 12 extras, there's probably 10 of them who are using Storm balls pretty much every time in Columbus. That's just an example of a place where I know for a fact that Storm is a pretty big advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other places you go, like Shawnee, I wouldn't say is that way. But I think it's more on the center than it is on the particular patterns, because the pattern's going to play different everywhere.
So. I would say that place is, you know, even at worst. I don't know. I don't think it tends to favor either side. Plus, we tend to bowl in pretty favorable conditions when we bowl there, which makes everybody in play. So I do think Parker bowled. He bowled really well. You know, he bowled better, and I don't think your thing was particularly great. And Jesper has fallen in love with the fast pitch, and there was a lot of oil on that left lane for the left-handers and the right lane for the right-handers, and so the guys that threw your thing didn't look all that good for very long. So,
yeah, that's probably true. I mean, Frankie basically threw one bad shot in the 9th frame. So yeah. I mean, it's hard because one game matches, you have to kind of take a guess, and you're not bowling on a pair of lanes there. You're bowling on 2 and 3.
In the setup there for practice, you got 10 minutes in the morning is your entire practice on that pair. Then you can warm up on the other side, which the TV pair is SPL. The other side is 20-year-old HPL. They're not close. No. And you get 4 shots. And so you're pretty much pot committed, and they're fairly easy. So you don't really know until about the 5th frame whether you made a very good choice or not.
Yeah, and the other thing is it's I mean, a lot of that comes down to who you play and what match, and it did seem like that they were a little different each time, which is kind of normal.
Yeah, they were only sitting for about 90 seconds before shots were going down. So the other interesting, there is one pretty big characteristic about a couple of those guys. Those first 2 were on the other side of the lane, and there's a reason why basically every year at the league that somebody that's ranked about 60th in points is the anchor. So take that for what it's worth. But
oh shit,
Matt Sanders was the anchor the last time he bowled in the league and hasn't been drafted since. And it wasn't because he didn't strike in the league. So
no, it is what it is. It's usually pretty nice on the left side of it.
It's good, and like most things, there's just a lot less traffic too. So it's not the only reason, but they are pretty decent over there. So left side, strong side. That's right.
So what have you got coming up, Kris, this week? What's your plans for the week?
Well, let's see. There's a mixed doubles and trios this weekend locally, and then I head to Lubbock for the PBA 50, and it's a major. So
it's a major?
It's a major. So yes.
Lubbock's a major.
Lubbock's a major.
What major is it?
It's a major. I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know any of this. This is interesting.
I'm just going to the next one. It's a 3-day tournament instead of 2-day tournament, so it's a major. I guess that would probably make it the Players.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm excited for this now.
Villages, Lubbock, and then the Senior U.S. Open, Senior Masters. And so, but I think it's actually, Jimbo's a fantastic host. He hosts the men, the women, the 50 regionals. I mean, he's had a ton of tournaments there. I think it's only deserving that he deserves to have a
major.
A major.
Yeah, no, I'm not really. I 100% agree with you over the host and everything. I hadn't really heard anything of any advertisement of this being a major or whatever. So does that mean it's like 15,000 for first then?
I think that means that's exactly what it means.
So. Let's go! first major, Linda. Let's go. PBA 50 Cup. I mean, we've got to be thinking that Lubbock without Jacob Butterworth has to be one of your favorite centers on earth. I mean, even with Jacob, but without Jacob.
I managed to sneak by him once, but yeah, there'll be a couple other port-siders they'll probably do fine there, I'm guessing, on a condition. Yeah, I do like Lubbock a lot.
I think lefties do that well there, except Jacob.
It could be.
Like when I bowled the tournaments there anyway.
Dio Bernard beat me 1 year, so Dio Bernard beat me there 1 year, and he was about 14 at the time.
Speaking of Dio Bernard, 890 he bowled in Vegas.
890, and he's the Northwest Region Rookie of the Year.
6-pin first frame, 35 bagger.
Bang.
And the way people wrote about it, I honestly, to start with, thought it was a 9-pin no-tap tournament because people weren't going. People go, yeah, Dale Bernard shot 890. That's how they said it.
Holy cow! At Samstown.
Yeah. Coley is telling Linda it's not her fault. It's definitely your fault. Look at it.
It was great to see it there. I think there might have been a little bit of panic when Jason went over to one of the guys that cracked open the Pabst on the 6-bagger. And by the way, the crowd was awesome with that whole thing. They had their guy. He had poses going on, the whole deal. He was giving them the old and holding the can, had the whole deal. And Jason went over and at least pretended to take a sip. Let's just go with he pretended to. And,
I wanted don't say it. I wanted Maria to win because I could see Maria doing the Stone Cold thing.
Yeah. Yes, he only pretended. I understand. Fortunately, I don't believe the FCC watches our show a lot. So we may be okay here, but it was a ton of fun. And as usual, Bayside jumps in with every side gig and bit that you got going on. And even though they still had some limited fan space there. They sure make a lot of noise. And just considering we hadn't had any, I think every noise would have seemed loud, but they're pretty good.
Well, Kris cracked open a keg.
Hey, party ball. If you're a little older, but yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, Tom, you were really close when you got that second one that one time. I thought you were going to get there.
Stop.
Yeah, I don't know what actually the fine would be if he had Jason actually drink the PBR. Obviously, since we didn't see any facial expressions, I'm sure he didn't. But I think that might have been Spendy. There was rumor about what Couch got when he cracked open a Miller Lite.
Didn't Couch get fined back in the day for drinking an MGD? Was he fined for drinking, or was he fined for drinking an MGD?
Well, we got a sponsor from them shortly after that. So
probably worked out okay. There you go. Verity did it. Verity had the six-bagger with the PBR to crack open a PBR. Couldn't be better.
And Andy is right. They got a 3-year sponsorship after it. So, but I think all in all, I think it was really good. I think the Strike Derby is going to come off pretty well. There were some pretty interesting head-to-head matches, and a lot of things came down to tiebreakers and some different things that made it. They got off a lot of shots, except for Norm. The guys getting off 16, 17. Some guys were almost getting off 20 shots in 2 minutes. The machines kept up for the first time. It was actually. And it actually had enough differences. There was actually strategy. So I think it'll be interesting to watch which guys just went for volume and which guys went for quality and which get out.
Just because I'll be the guy to ask, was Simon okay with the racks?
I don't think he had time to watch them. So I did not hear anything about it. So I couldn't say. But yeah, let's see. There's an interesting. How was Ryan about after just missing the SASBA? He wasn't as salty as some of the other guys were. The scores were rough on the right for the house shot. Dustin Ochoa didn't have any problems shooting 250 over.
Are you talking about this weekend?
Last weekend, yeah.
Oh, just gone? The one at Oil Bowl?
In Longview, yeah.
Oh, okay, because 2 righties won.
They did. They did end up winning. Saturday didn't go that well. But, he bowled with Rick Minear. Last time he and I bowled, we missed by 11. This time they missed by 7. And reports back from ALS and some of the boys, they weren't particularly happy. They got ran over pretty good, and there was a lot of oil right of 7 for being the house shot, at least on the lane. Maldonado did not shoot 100 over for 8 games, which has never happened in that building. And so
B squad leader, B squad leader was 200 out of first after qualifying. Yeah, that's weird. That's never happened. Like the previous one.
Yeah. The problem is when you don't let lane sit, it's going to be a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, I mean it was rough when we bowled in Armadillo.
Yeah, it was 11-3, I believe it was there. They took 12 this time, and this time they finished 13th. So, yeah, he was not a happy boy. No doubt about
it. Any lesser-known national PBA tournaments that you guys are looking forward to over the next few months? Well, Lubbock.
Yeah, we always look forward to going to Lubbock. Lubbock, Odessa, they're going to have both. They're going to have a PBA 50 in Odessa. Then we have Jonesboro. We have Lucy, Coldwater. I think Coldwater is that's the low-key favorite of all the guys up in that area. They are hard, and they embrace the fact that they're hard, and everybody knows going in. Most of the time, plus is a pretty good number there.
I feel like, like when you go to, Akron, it says, through these doors walk the greatest bowlers in the world. Or whatever it says, the sign above the door.
Tournament champions, right?
Yeah. I feel like on the way out of Coldwater, it goes, through these doors walk a PBA champion with no ego left. Bet you didn't think you'd feel like as much of an asshole walking out of here as you did walking in.
Yeah. Through these doors walk the most depressed bowlers in the world.
So there you go. Kabansky and Aria are live on the global page right now, so the madness has already begun. So fun times. I really like going to Bowl Expo. Missing it this year. Tina was up there.
Cut down on staff this year for Bowl Expo because I think attendance a little lower all the way around. I think everybody's trying to, you have to get things back in line after a year off. So,
well, also Storm a lot of Storm's business is international, and of course there is no international people.
Right. Yeah, it's cut down a lot on how many players are there, and so yeah.
But yeah, my wife was up there for the USBC board meetings just before. She said that the area was fantastic. The views from the hotel were incredible. So she had a good time up there. So for everybody who is up in Louisville, have a good time.
Our guy, Robert Eddy. Hey, Robert, are you guys still leading the your division and team event at USBCs? I have not heard. I haven't kept up. And the other thing I wanted to ask, we talked about this last week. They didn't get on the show. I am bowling with my two kids, a two-hander and a left-hander in the little trios. Come up with a creative name for our team. We have a couple of them. I think we have one we're going to go with. But, hey, you guys are pretty – you walk that little gray area that we like to live in. So let's hear what you got. There you go. Still leading the team event. There you go. All right.
Show off.
I'm trying to rent an RV to take the family up to Wisconsin, and I'm wishing that Mr. Eddy lived closer. So I think he has about 3 different things that we could take to be better than anything I can rent. So
what are you going to Wisconsin for?
We're gonna go up and spend some time with some friends up there. They have a place on Lake, and just I've been there a few times over the years with the Williamses, and so yeah. We have a small troop and heading up there.
He's a pretty good effort by Poga. Oh,
the King's Offsprings, no beef, all Barnzy. All right.
I don't think it's as good as the current one, but it's not bad.
Smash, crash, and tink. I don't have to guess which one. Yeah, they're not, I like it, but my kids wouldn't get it at all. So, actually, most people who are under our age wouldn't get it at all.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
No, not much. I'm bowling this weekend up in Plano. I'm bowling with my wife in the doubles, and then I'm bowling with one of our friends from down here, Denton, in the Leisha Memorial event. Certainly going to be it's certainly going to be a interesting time in Plano. I think I'm going to try and see if Rick Mann's available for a lesson on how to bowl in Plano. Because he sure taught me a lesson last time I was up there. He bowled 1607 for the 6 games. So I think I need to teach me, master.
You think you need that? Oh, Ryan's shipping in 1 Barnzy, 1 beef, and CB. It's not so nice of his brother right there, but when his headaches, that's not far off. Yeah, no, Plano's been okay to me lately. So kind of figured out a little bit of stuff there, and what's that? And there's no, so Sue doesn't go for $1 million this time. Well, all right.
This is definitely a question for you.
Seasoned. That's a nice way to put it. What advice would you give to the younger up-and-comers? Naya or Robars? Well, they don't need anything. Keep playing first arrow right now. A good idea. But particularly for the young guys, it's basically just keep adding to what they do. When you're young, everybody's good at something. That's how you get good. And one of the biggest mistakes I see from young guys when they come on tour is they try to change what's working out there, but they don't keep what made them great to begin with. Because at some point, that will probably come in handy most of the time. And you don't want to throw away the instincts that made you, one of the top players, especially guys like that who are among the top youth bowlers in the world. So they don't need to they don't need to abandon that. You can refine that, but keep adding to that skill set. Don't change your skill set. That would probably be one of the things I would say a lot. And then evidently make your spares. So I didn't realize, but I guess once you get to a certain age, a single pin becomes like a 3-foot putt, and you start getting the yips. I'm not sure how that works, but somebody asked earlier, was the last time I missed 2 4-pins in the same game? And I'm going to guess I was probably a YBA member at the time. So, but that's about all I got on that.
Well, for all you guys who are interested in balls, you can head over to the Rotogrip site. You can head over to the Storm site. You can head over to the Global site. We are all good. We're up. You can see whatever there is. And yeah. And I've managed to lose my window. But yeah, there's all the balls are available. They're all up there. Trend 2 is up there, and exciting times. There's an X2, Kris. Yes. Yes. So yeah, there's some new hustles. There's some balls to be hyped about. So yeah.
From the global side, I think you'll probably see the next Zen.
Yeah, Zen Masters up, and the 2 burners.
For a little while, but you'll at least be able to see it out there.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I know that this probably isn't the one they want us to promote, but goddamn, look at this. Oh my word. They'll see you miss the 4-pin with this one, Barnes. Woo!
You better hit one when you throw that one down the
lane. Bang! Oh, it's the new Wichita State spare ball. Oh shit! Let's go. Oh dear. Good times. So yeah. So if you ask us any questions about those balls, the answer are, for me, certainly not a clue. No idea. Don't know.
I've thrown all of them, but yeah, but it'll be a little while further out. Those burners are pretty angular, actually. That's a strong value proposition. Once again, that pro we'll have to see. It is really sideways in the back. I gotta find out if it's tour good or senior tour good sideways in the back. So we will see.
Yeah, this was the one that Schleimer was telling me about. The new Hustle camo is it's a shiny solid, so it's trying to sneak into the Hustle Inc. Market, for those of you who like that one. Sometimes, yeah. Other times when Kris comes and asks me, do you want to bet? I go, do you just want me to buy you dinner? Kris ain't coming down to ask me if we want to bet with the 180 ball reaction. Trust me.
We know.
The best is when you open the first frame and you come to the guy and you're like, you want to bet dinner? And then you know, you're like, oh shit, he's probably got an 11 bagger in him. Oh shit. All right, well, I guess we can wrap this up. For everybody watching, please go and watch the Norm Duke episode on YouTube. It's fantastic. Yeah, Norm relived some of his best action stories. It was a lot of fun. We very much enjoyed doing it with Norm. I think in hindsight, I probably should have done it as 2 episodes because it's an hour and 15 minutes. So maybe set a bookmark, watch it in 2 or 3 pieces. But yeah, that's a pretty cool episode. I have had some parenting deals, so I haven't managed to. Tina went away for the weekend, so I had to step up and be in charge. So I haven't got to finish editing up my UFO video. I can see the disappointment in Barnes' face. I mean, like, Jesus, you got one job, Williams. But we'll try and get that up this week, especially now it's coming up to the release date in a couple of weeks. So yeah, we've still got the product show to do. We're probably going to do that on the 29th. That will be one day after my 40th birthday. Oh no. I'm still sort of in that river in Egypt. My mother said, "What do you want for your 40th birthday?" And I'd not really thought about the fact that I was 40.
When do you turn 40?
June the 28th.
Oh boy, when's that? Which day is it?
It's Monday. Next Monday.
Okay.
So
well, there you go. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the schedule too for next week if I'm bowling or not when this is going on. So
yeah, we've got to we've got to get it all sorted, but we'll we'll endeavor to have some feedback for you. It will be on the dark code, and the we'll probably cover the burners and the UFO alert. So that will be the direction that show will go in, and then the July one will probably focus a little bit on some of the Bowl Expo balls. So
yeah,
that's kind of the way we're going. Some of these balls are really in the future. So the let's have a look quickly. The Zen Master release date is going to be August 20th. So still,
you're 2 months away still, and so that's why we haven't done a lot of things on it, because we will put that up closer when it becomes available to everyone.
The hyped, the two of them, the latest HP2 balls are both August 20. The X2 is going to be August 20 also. The Hustles are going to be in the middle of July. And the Belmo Trend 2 is going to be September 17th.
Whoa.
So that's a ways away. So
there you go.
Just to give you an idea, the Bowl Expo balls the releases are a little bit elongated. In the past, Rotogrip have had a lot of releases in August from Bowl Expo. It seems like with the way of the world at the minute, and actually how popular the balls have been recently, Zen specifically, it's thrown off production somewhat. But good things.
Staggering them out a little bit. With that, you almost seem seasoned at 40. And England is on today too. There you go.
Yeah, they're already through, so it's not as bad. But thank you.
Look that good at 40 and sound that intelligent.
Wow.
Huh. It's not my burner account.
That's not the direction your burner account would have been going.
Nuts.
It'd have been like, holy shit, was your paper route uphill both ways?
Well, hard to cast stones from my glass house there. So, but hey, head on over those pages, watch those demos, and catch up on that. We'll be back with you on Thursday. And I'm sure bringing you more excitement and more news and kind of some of the hows and the whats and the whys of Bowl Expo, as well as any other updates. So,
beefandbarnzy.com. Let's go.
That's right, beefandbarnzy.com. Head over to YouTube. Hit subscribe, please, for us. Help us out there and help us be able to put out some more content for you. Until next time, support those small bowling centers and businesses. Help them get through. And when you get a choice, please support the people that support us. Storm, Rotogrip, Niner Global, Vice, Coolwick, 3D Shoes, Master, Bowler's Mark, Mark Baker Bowling, Fire Lake, and maybe a couple more soon to be named. So there we go. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy.
See you later.